What's going on, everyone? Luns here. Hope everyone had a safe and enjoyable 4th of July. Happy What's Current Wednesday. For now, the game plan is to release a new episode every Wednesday. And special happy birthday shout out to my guy Steve. Got that gas station birthday, 7-Eleven. Steve's a day one homie of mine since elementary school, so I guess not exactly a day one, probably more like a day 2,920 or so. Some other heavy hitter birthdays of the week already passed. My dad, my buddy Jason Fullen, my guy Fred Natiff. If I missed you, well, better luck next year. But shout out to another one of my day one homies, Dusty Blanco. Aside from being another one of my best friends, Dusty is a very talented graphic designer. He's produced a lot of cover art for my music catalog over the years and actually designed the cover art of this podcast that you see on your screen there. Dusty lives in Denver, Colorado, and recently he and a group of designers came together to design a series of shirts to support and raise money for Black Girls Code. For those not familiar with Black Girls Code, their vision is to increase the number of women of color in the digital space by empowering girls of color ages 7 to 17 to become innovators in STEM fields, that's science, technology, engineering, mathematics, leaders in their communities and builders of their own futures through exposure to computer science and technology to provide African American youth with the skills to occupy some of the 1.4 million computing job openings expected to be available in the U.S. by 2020 and to train 1 million girls by 2040. All shirts are pre-orders and they'll be printed and shipped once the store closes. So that's an important side note here. This closes this coming Tuesday, July 14th at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time. So please check it out before then. If you can take a moment to check it out after the podcast, be appreciated by a lot of people. The shirts will be printed and distributed by a small print shop. That's the name of the company. It's a local print shop based in Denver. Again, 100% of the proceeds will be donated to Black Girls Code and a single donation made once the store closes. There's 4 different shirts. They're dope. I just ordered mine. I've got the link to purchase here in the show notes. Or if you know Dusty, it's in his Instagram bio at Dusty_Blanco. So yeah, support the homie, support the cause, support the future of these future creators out there. Today we've got a segment from one of Sean and I's recent recording sessions, and this bit is centered around being present in the here and the now. Your presence is a present, or as some rapper once said, my presence is a present. I just got the gift. I'll follow up on that if I remember who said it. But anyways, on to the current. Let it ride.
I had a couple thoughts and I lost my train of thought there for a sec because I was into what you were saying there.
Yeah,
but
that happened when you were talking last too. I was but
it's almost like I need a mental checklist. Sometimes I find if you're truly present, then you might forget some of your planned thoughts,
I was thinking the same thing.
Really?
When you were talking, I've talked to you before about how I have the problem of thinking about what I'm going to say next, even when we're in those more micro conversations with people where we're just out and socially or whatever, we're talking to someone and you're trying to think about what you're going to say next. You don't totally tune in, or when someone introduces themselves to you, you're thinking about how you're going to introduce yourself. So you don't even get their name. You got to ask again.
You forget their name.
I have a great memory. I can remember names, but you got to pay attention.
That's interesting, and that's a cool topic because I think it's a normal human thing. Our brains have the ability to kind of keep a thought in your mind while somebody else is expressing a thought, and then we're kind of like a little computer in there. But when you think about that, are you really listening to the other person? Mm-hmm. And really, it's a challenge to be like, all right, I'm going to truly just be present in this conversation. I don't do it often, honestly. I don't think many people do. But think about it as a challenge almost, that this conversation is flowing, whichever way it's flowing, and it's a challenge for both people involved that however it goes, you're gonna respond organically on the fly, off the cuff. And obviously there's gonna be some thoughts that are gonna guide the conversation, and you might come to like a preconceived thought. But like I think it's especially for like you as like an artist, like a freestyle rapping. I mean, that's like probably a good practice really for anybody. But I just think like your example, you're kind of an example. Like anytime that you can do that in a conversation, that'll probably help your rapping skills.
Wow,
because
it's a great connection.
You know what I mean? Like you're all of a sudden you're thinking strictly in the moment kind of thing.
I don't know, moment bars.
Yeah, but I mean that can go for anybody. I mean, put it in my perspective now. I mean, I'm gonna be probably one day back on the dating scene. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna be meeting new people, and those conversations need to happen organically. I need to be able to listen to what a person's saying and be able to kind of respond in a way that is natural and create a new relationship kind of thing. I mean, we can't do that by, all right, going into this date, I got this list of things that if it gets like slow, we're going to just go one by one. I mean, that ain't going to work. I mean, maybe it works for some people, but I don't want that. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting to think about, just being present. I think presence is something we've talked about quite a bit as well. Just it's such a buzzword right now. Be present, be mindful, and it's almost like cliche. But if you actually do it, it is freeing. It gets back to all the books we've talked about. Just kind of, it all comes down to just being happy, being fulfilled.
Yeah.
I mean, just don't be dwelling in the past or being anxious about the future, just being right here. If you truly are in the moment, you don't feel those negative, kind of intrusive thoughts.
Yeah. So, I mean, dude, that's great stuff. Obviously, I agree with all that. And I mean, there's even several times while you were talking there where like maybe, a past me, a younger me, a less kind of, less developed me, I guess, would have like wanted to jump in a lot of those times and try to like, not like to just try to take over the conversation, intentionally, but still would have done that because like I've always been the super extrovert, and in the past always wanted to be like, center of attention, stuff like that, and I've kind of slowly slid out of that and then a little bit, and I think now, but you're right. Throughout that, it was I found those internal feelings of like wanting to like not like take it over from you. I loved what you were saying, but to like just jump in and say a few things. I wanted to let your moment breathe. I wanted to let the moment breathe. I wanted to remain 100% still. And there was a spot where you're about to stop talking. And I could have easily picked up on it just because I used to always feel the need to like fill silence. When you're talking with people, you have to fill the silence or else it's going to be awkward. Right. Nah, man, like the more you can get comfortable with a little bit of silence and letting the moment breathe, and I did that, you kind of revved back up into a final little good moment there, and I felt great about having done that, like because. And nothing gets more present than this, talking about us talking in the moment. Like, like you're right. It does. It feels dope. And I hope like
it feels cool.
People are vibing. I hope people are vibing with it. But yeah, man, I mean this, and I think I can't remember if I kind of brought this up the other night, but this just led me to think about when, like when you can, it's nice to be able to look back on pictures. It's nice when you can remember to get a picture of something cool or get a picture of of a time. But what's even cooler is if with that picture, you look at that picture and it can also spark kind of a whole wave of nostalgia of bringing you back to that moment, that time, that place, and that whole like vibe that comes with it. It's not just simply a picture that like, you hike to the top of a mountain with a few people just so you could take a few pictures to show that you did it on social media and you went down and you didn't like, kind of like take it in or whatnot.
Yeah.
Then it's almost like it's kind of empty. And when me, you, and Amanda hung out at your spot the other night when we broke it in a little bit, I remember when I got back home and I was like, oh, darn, we should have got a picture.
Yeah.
And it was just ironic because we had just been talking about that, and I still felt that way. Like, I still feel like I wish we would have gotten a picture, but at the same time, I like took that moment and realized, like, we were all three of us were present with each other that night, and we'll always be able to remember that night and feel that night, and I think we're gonna feel the same way looking back at this night too, and like all the other future times, that when you can be in that moment, every moment, you will always have moments to relive at your disposal when you want to.
100%, man.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of a picture? You kind of hit on that, which I think is super relevant right now. This is not meant to be like accusatory in any way, but I think a lot of people are, because of social media now, probably the meaning of a picture is different now. It's take the picture, upload it to Instagram, and see how much validation you can get by likes and comments from your friends and maybe even people you don't even know. But I like what you said there, that really, when you think about the purpose of a picture, it's to take you back to that moment. Sometime in the future, whenever you decide to look at that picture again, it brings you back to that moment so that you feel those emotions, that vibe, that you might even experience like sensory memories. Like it might remind you of how it smelled when you took that picture by that creek or something. Like, it's like the memory, it's about that's like the human experience, man. Like, it's not about putting it on. This is my opinion. It's not about putting it out there just so others can be like, wow, he's cool, or look at him. I mean, that's they talk about that in the Manson book here. Like, just we're kind of lost with this need of validation from others, and it can be very fulfilling when people are all on your stuff and think you're cool and stuff, but man, it's really tough to live for the approval of others, man. It's just really challenging, and it's kind of destructive for me personally, that I know I can't live that way. It's challenging.
Well said. Yeah, I mean, I'll admit, you're right. Sure, it feels great to, like, I don't know, post something on Instagram and it gets more likes than you ever gotten. Like, I'll admit, like, when I posted the Instagram of me proposing to Amanda, with those fire pics from my homies Bones and Wiley. Shout out Bones and Wiley for popping out of the bushes essentially and sniping some quality professional shots. Like, yeah, I got way more likes on that than I've ever gotten on any other Instagram picture, and it's like, yeah, of course I expected that, and like, I definitely was like looking at my phone a good amount that day to like see how many more likes I was getting. It was fun. Like, it's those little hits of dopamine that you get from looking at, from seeing that. And that's what Instagram's designed to do and make you try to work your lifestyle around. But yeah, man, the more, we can all learn about what the kind of fundamental purposes of like being on this planet are, kind of that high level, that, the top horizon kind of reasons for being on this earth, and all of kind of the, I don't know, maybe self-improvement or self-help genre type of stuff that I've kind of consumed and been learning about, through books and podcasts over the past several years. A common theme throughout all that is being present. When you start to realize that being present could very well be one of the main core fundamental purposes for being and for leading a fulfilling life, then that is what you ought to be putting some effort into if you want to live happily and fulfilled in like your one shot on this planet. I mean, it's worth some attention
for sure. And I think it's also something like, listen, we all have jobs, and there definitely there's a need to plan things, and have maybe not a need, but there's nothing wrong with like like I'm a big planner guy. Like I like to kind of plan out my week, like every Sunday, and just kind of get all the main things that are going to be going on each day. And I find myself sometimes being like, is this present? You know, this is anti-presence. I'm like planning every little thing, and there's some truth to that. But I think it's probably not possible to be completely 100% present all the time. But to find these moments, like right now, you and I are being present tonight, Saturday night, when we hung out on Wednesday night or Thursday night, whenever that was. Like we were present. It's finding moments throughout the day. Like I know you're into meditation. I'm into the yoga. People like working out. People like just finding some time. You know, it doesn't. I think it can be kind of overwhelming sometimes to be like, I need to be present all the time, to the point where the act of being present makes you not present because you're thinking about being present so much. It's like as with anything in life, it's like the balance of it, you know? And it's tough. It's tough. Like, you know, it's tough. There was something I was reading that I found it really interesting. And I think I told it to you about in one of the lunch talks, and I can't remember what it was, but it was about kind of what I was just saying, that like, when you try to be present like so much that it can negatively backfire, like, or maybe not even presence is what it was, but like if something even is like a good thing, but you're too honed in on it, it can backfire on you.
Yeah, no, I that sounds familiar for sure. I bet you mentioned something like that, and I mean, yeah, you can't be present when you're planning for the future either. So it's like,
right.
It's like, yeah, you know, that's another thing. Like, you know, that it's just be present when it counts. Back to the people versus things, especially try to be present with people. Yeah, man, it's a crazy time, but you know, do your best to be true to yourself throughout it all, and do what you feel needs to be done, say what you feel needs to be said. But then at the same time, you know, like we were saying before, the way of serenity, the serenity prayer, know the difference between what you can and can't control throughout all this.
Yeah, that's the real wisdom right there. You know, being able to discern the difference between what you can and can't change. It's powerful, man.
For sure.
It's been a good session, man.
Yeah, solid. I think. I mean, hey, I'm getting thirsty. I think moving forward, I need to have the beverages on backup. Need to move a small mini fridge up into this room.
Ooh, that would be next level.
You know,
next level.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's possible.
I don't think I ever noticed this rug.
Yeah,
this thing is sweet. I like that green. Like, it's just that.
Yeah,
that's that nature vibe.
It's a vibe, you know. Gotta keep the greenery inspiring.
Hey,
you know, green's the best color. All the best things are green.
This is true.
But all right, y'all. Well, appreciate y'all listening. Keep it current, keep it present, and Sean and I will catch you next time.
We outie.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Once again, check out the shirts. The store closes Tuesday, July 14th, 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time. So, on the East Coast, technically, Wednesday, early morning, 1:59 a.m., the 15th, for you night owls. The shirts are $25, so if you either don't want to donate $25 or you want to donate but don't want a shirt, that's cool. You can go to blackgirlscode.com and you'll see a donate button where you can specify the amount you want to donate directly to the cause. Appreciate you guys for listening. We'll be back with the goods next week. Peace.